How you doing, everybody? Welcome back to another edition of Poolside Cigar Reviews with Kirk. Tonight I'm excited because I'm looking at the Esteban Carreras 10 Años. This is the, or 10 Años, I guess depending on what side of the border you're on. This is my very first Esteban Carreras cigar. This was bombed to me by Brandon and Randy from the Calypso Cigar podcast. So if you're on YouTube or iTunes, check them out. It's the Calypso Cigar Review podcast. They're awesome. They bombed this to me a while ago, and I'm excited. They're big fans of Esteban Carreras, and hopefully I am too. This is a Toro size. I believe it's 5.5 by tobacco all over me. 5.5. Great draw, wide open. Little cedar. Really just clean tobacco, very nice. But I believe 5.5 by 54 box press. Nice looking stick. Cool band. And yeah, hopefully I like this. I'm excited about it. It has a great prelay draw. But yeah, check out Brandon and Randy's podcast. And also, I know Esteban Carreras isn't sold everywhere. So if you want to get one, I do know that you can call them. And if you look up the Calypso Cigar Lounge in Richardson, Texas, they do have a website that does have a phone number. And listen to the podcast, and generally, I won't speak for them, but generally, whatever cigar they're reviewing that week, they'll give you a deal on it. So listen to that podcast, and then if you want to buy some of those cigars, if it sounds like something you would enjoy, give them a call and buy a 5-pack. Tons of smoke right away. Very honestly, the first thought that comes to my mind isn't even a flavor. It's Padron. It's very Padron-like. You know, this cigar they say is aged for 10 years, and this really has it. That's probably why I'm thinking Padron, because it's Nicaraguan and it's well aged. It's just a very smooth aged tobacco. Lots of smoke. A little bit of spice, but not too much. No pepper flavor. I'm just going to say a nice, slightly musty, smooth aged tobacco. So I will keep trucking here, and I'll let you know what I get. So I'll be back in a flash and let you know how the 10 Años progresses. See you in a minute. Okay, so I'm about 20 minutes in now. Maybe an inch down. Burning a little crooked, but really not an issue at all. It's just been burning this way the whole way down, so I'm not going to worry about it. Tastes great. It's really complex. It's hard to put your finger on, you know, a couple exact key flavors, but really for the most part what I'm getting out of this, it's gotten spicier. The spice is definitely ramped up. It's definitely got a little bit of bite to it. But it's a nice, it's still just the core is aged tobacco with some spice on it up front, and then the finish, it's like a black peppercorn buttercream kind of finish. Still, I would say very Padron-like. And it's funny that I say that because Randy actually sent me a message yesterday that I did read, but I guess I didn't read it that closely because I just went back to check what it was because I wanted to make sure that I let you guys know. It was a little bit of background on the cigar. And he told me that the wrapper that's on this cigar is the same wrapper that's on the 1926 Padron Maduro. So I technically did read that, but I didn't remember it, so maybe it was kicking around in the back of my mind, which is why I immediately thought Padron. But this tastes very Padron-like, and I hope that the fine folks at Esteban Carreras don't take that as an insult. That maybe I'm not trying to say that this is any kind of an imitation. It's a fantastic cigar. It's more like saying, I don't know what kind of car this is, but it drives like a BMW. It's a compliment. This is a very nice cigar, and much like Padrons, it's just hard to pin down that flavor, but it's great. And I'm drinking water with it. Very, very clean. Good stuff. Like I said, this is aged for 10 years and it definitely tastes like it. So I will keep going, let you know what else I get out of this, but so far I'm a big fan. So I'll see you in a minute, let you know what else we get. So I'm about 40 minutes in now. The burn is razor sharp. It's not burning crooked anymore. It corrected itself. This is just a tremendously constructed cigar. I mean, it's the draw is immaculate. The amount of smoke that I'm getting out of each draw is fantastic. You know, the burn is razor sharp. Absolutely no touch-ups off the light. Very good. This is the type of performance that I expect from really any cigar, but this is what I like. I'm very picky about how a cigar burns, because to me that plays a lot in the overall experience. I don't want to have to worry about how a cigar is burning, about trying to get smoke out of it. It's just, in my opinion, a cigar should be effortless to enjoy. So that's really the standard that I hold. You know, if you hear me when I review these cigars, my standard really is an effortless experience to enjoy. I don't want to have to touch it up. I don't want to have to double and triple puff it to get smoke out of it. I don't want to have to fight it going out. This has been perfect. Now, Randy did tell me that this has been in the humidor at the Calypso Cigar Lounge in Richardson, Texas. Give them a call. For a year. And it's been in my humidor for, I don't know, 6 weeks. I don't know how long I've had this. Maybe 6 weeks. So it should be properly humidified. It's been properly stored. As soon as I got it in the mail, I threw it right in my humidor, so it's burning great. Flavor-wise, kicked up a little bit. You know, the first third was medium to full. I would still say medium to full, but definitely closer to the full side. This second third is ramped up a little bit. The flavor profile has stayed about the same, but I had a few draws that were kind of interesting, where I just had a little bit of almost like pipe tobacco sweetness here and there. But for the most part, this is hard to nail down. And again, I keep going back to, similar to like a Padron, this is the type of cigar that I really enjoy. And I think it's just cigars that have well-aged tobacco. I think that's the flavor that you get. It's a well-aged tobacco, and everything, all the flavors have, you know, married quite well. I might have used the analogy before, but it's kind of like if you make a pot of chili. You know, if you try to eat it right after you make it or on that first night, you might be able to taste the chili powder and the onion and the garlic. But when you let that chili sit for a couple days, it gets better, and then it just becomes more of a, ooh, that tastes like great chili. And I think when you age tobacco and you do it well, that's what you get. It's just hard to pin down. You know, I'm sure there's maybe a little bit of coffee, maybe a little bit of leather, you know, maybe some pepper flavor, but nothing stands out. So it's hard to pin down. The finish isn't quite as creamy as the first third, but it's still super clean. I'm just drinking water with this, and I am enjoying it. And it's not, you know, when I say the flavor profile hasn't changed a ton, it's just because it's hard to nail down. I'm not getting bored with this. You know, this isn't a cigar where I'm waiting for a transition, because it does change from draw to draw, and the flavor has ramped up. So it's certainly not boring. Really enjoying this. So I'll be back, let you know my finishing thoughts. I'm probably going to grab a drink. I mean, this is great with water, but I do think sometimes pairing a cigar with the drink really can help you find some flavors. But so far, I mean, this is great. Nothing really stands out. Great smoke. Be back with my final thoughts. See you in a minute. So I'm about an hour in now. Still lots of smoke. Don't breathe that in. Don't inhale. About an hour in. Draw is still perfect. I mean, this really was an effortless cigar. A+ on construction. Right after the last update, I did get, I got some new flavors. I got some very bitter cocoa, and with a hint of like toasted marshmallow on the finish. It started to get it was interesting because it was that bitter cocoa, not a sweet cocoa, a bitter cocoa, but with some like I said, some like toasted marshmallow sweetness. So when I went in to grab my drink, as I said I would, I opted for a cocktail. You know, a lot of times I drink beer or scotch. But since I started to get some dessert flavors out of this, I grabbed a Black Russian. If you're not familiar, that's basically 1 part Kahlua, 1 part vodka on ice. It's a very sweet cocktail. So kind of a chick drink, really, but no one will know that because it doesn't look like it. So if you're out somewhere and you're feeling like you're in the mood for a chick drink but you want to get made fun of with something pink, go ahead and go for a Black Russian. Because I also thought my thinking with that was this had some dessert flavors, and all the way through I was kind of thinking in the back of my mind, wow, I bet this would pair really well with coffee. It's a little late for me to be drinking coffee, so I went for the Black Russian because Kahlua is coffee liqueur, so it's a little bit that coffee, but super sweet. Did pair very well. It didn't bring out any additional flavors like I was hoping it would. It did continue to get spicy here at the very end, and I think it's because it's warming up. I really had to slow this down because the draw is so open. You know, when you get down closer to the nub here like this, you really do have to slow down to keep these from overheating. But the spice is really picked up here at the very end, getting a little bit of nutty flavor and just a lot of spice on the tongue. Look at all that smoke. No wind tonight. Wow. Don't smoke this in your car. But overall, I don't rate cigars because I don't trust myself to be subjective and to be consistent from review to review, because I just don't. But this gets an A+. If I had another one of these, and if I weren't getting eaten alive by mosquitoes right now, I would go grab another one. You know, if I were sitting in the lounge right now and I was finishing this up, I would walk right back into the humidor and buy another one. This is fantastic. Which gives me an idea. If the fine folks at Esteban Carreras come across this video, I would recommend to add a new Vitola to this line. It's kind of a gimmicky Vitola, but I would buy it. Make this in a Presidente, 9.5 by 50. You know, some of the big brands make them. Padron makes one. Alec Bradley makes one for the Max. Who else makes a Presidente? There's another one. I don't know. I mean, Opus X has one. But I would buy this in a Presidente. I really would. Because it's that good. So, if you have the opportunity, pick up an Esteban Carreras 10 años or 10 años. I don't know what your preference is. If you can't get the 10 años, maybe grab another Esteban Carreras, because in my opinion, this is so good that it definitely merits giving any Esteban Carreras a try. I've got 2 more in my humidor. I've got the Chupacabra and the Covenant, and I'm very much looking forward to both of them now. So, thank you. You want to know how smart I am? I am so smart that I forgot to charge the camera before I did my review. So, it cut me off at the very end there. But what I wanted to say was thank you very much to Randy and Brandon at the Calypso Cigar Shop and Lounge. Check out their podcast. It's on YouTube, it's on iTunes. There's a few other platforms, but definitely check it out. I think it's probably the best cigar review podcast. Thank you very much to the folks at Esteban Carreras. Great cigar. Keep up the good work. Make sure you blend that Presidente. I'll be looking out for it. And I just want to say thank you guys very much for stopping by and having an evening with me by the pool and watching the sunset and smoking a great cigar. Until next time, I hope you have a great week. Please let me know what you think of this review. If you've had an Esteban Carreras, let me know. Just always feel free to leave a comment. I'd love to hear from you. Make sure you click that like and subscribe button. I really appreciate it. So, as always, I want to thank you and remind you to keep your feet in the pool, a drink in your hand, and a cigar in your mouth. Have a great week, everybody.